Welcome to John's Retirement Journey and Travel. This will be a meeting of the Retiring Club. In this meeting of the Retiring Club, we're going to be talking about expenses. For me personally, as a new retiree in my first 6 months, a few years ago, I started worrying about my expenses in case I was let go from the financial institution I worked for. Um, this time a year ago, I was still employed there, and I left Morgan Stanley September 26th of 2025. And this is really my first year of managing a whole year's uh, expenses. So, what I want to do here is go into the expenses and give you an idea how I came up with the dollar amount that I need in my first year of retirement. So I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share. And then during this screen share, I'm going to try and explain to you some of the important features that could be helpful for someone like yourself who's looking to retire on a low or moderate income. And the first thing that we want to do is protect ourselves as far as replacing the payroll income once the job stops. And I am a believer of if you put together a good retirement plan, then it'll double for early termination, retiring early, or if you're in between jobs. So my name is John, and I'm host of the Retiring Club. We are going to start taking a look at expenses. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. We're going to take a look at my expenses. This is how I came up with how much I need on a monthly basis to cover myself once I left the firm and my W 2 income. So we've got the mortgage. The mortgage is $511.54. I'm adding an extra $100 as a method to pay down the principal and get this reduced to, say, around $20,000 over the next 6 to 7 years. This mortgage here is 1 3/4. So rather than paying it off, I decided that I would keep the mortgage, add an extra $100. And I got this mortgage through the NACA program. So if you're listening to this right now for the first time, NACA.com, you're paying $1,800 for a 1 bedroom apartment. I would suggest you take a look at that website and consider going through the NACA program and purchasing you a condo or a starter home. And that will allow you to save a whole bunch of money. So I'm keeping that mortgage because all it's going to do is if I paid it off, it would cost me $60,000 of tax free dollars. And I would only save $335 a month. That's $85 a week. That's all I would have extra. Okay. We got the homeowners association. I live here in a condominium outside the perimeter here in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's been holding pretty steady. It used to be 265 when I first moved in 2014. The utility gas, this fluctuates. It is $48.59 is what it's running during the summer months. Now it's going to be like that from the month of May all the way up until I start turning that heat on in November or possibly December. I use a lot of space heaters and I'll go ahead and throw on a sweater or something like that to help manage that. And I just heat the rooms that I'm in. This also has they don't have a grace period, so I have to get that paid on the day. I called them about that. When I turn 65, after the contract expires, I can call them back and get a reduction. And I think it's like $2 off the service fee or something like that. I'll take it. Here is the electric. The electric, I have what's called the budget plan here with Georgia Power. It is actually $58 a month. and it's like that all year long. And with my usage being down so much, the winter usage by using space heaters, it will actually balance out. There's a balance that's being chipped away now from the winter months. My cable, I use Comcast. I have Flex, and that's running me $70 a month, and it's working on two TVs. My cell phone is also with Comcast or Xfinity. I was able to get a new Pixel phone, and that's $37.40. It has 3 gigs of data per month. And what I do is everywhere I go, I just get off the data and I switch it over to Wi-Fi. And that's been working out pretty. I went over it a couple times, but it's not a big deal. Now I have myself on groceries at $60. It used to be 120. Now, in my case, the short that I mentioned was about low income. So with me having and reporting income of this year of barely $25,000, I am what you call an impoverished retiree. So I actually registered here in my neighborhood for pantry services. So I go to the pantry once a week and I can get meats, shelf items, vegetables. I also can go back any day during the week to get the bread and some of the free items that they may offer. I have not done that yet, but the $60 would be for some of the items that they don't have. Eggs have been kind of hard for me to come by. I think some of the milk, I didn't too much like it. It was all clumpy. So I've got that at $60, but sometimes I don't even use that much. Auto expenses, um, I'll talk about that in the other video. The only really thing I got are oil changes and the tags on it right now, and maybe every now and then a filter, but I just don't have anything allocated for that. It's kind of pay as you go. Auto insurance, I pay my insurance up every 6 months to get the discount, and it's running me 470. I have comprehensive, which is someone busted the window or damaged the column, trying to steal it or something. They would cover that. A lot of the times when you have issues with the insurance, if it is not significant, I have been just shoving out the money myself and not filing claims. My deductible is $500, but it's running about $80 a month. It's last time I paid was 470, and that is all baked into the budget, which we're going to look at shortly. Fuel. Now, this used to be $30 every 2 weeks. Now it's no longer like that. It has it's gone up quite a bit. I find myself that I with that $30, I can no longer fill up the 2012 Honda with a 10.4 gallon tank. Um, so I have some other creative ways for dealing with that. I just don't go or I double up my trips. Regular maintenance, medical expenses, doctor's visit. I haven't been going anywhere, but this medical expenses, any pharmacy related stuff like the medicine, I have a health savings account. I opened that up this year and I funded it with the $5,400, which was the maximum amount you can put in. So anything with the doctor, I got $5,200 in there. I could just swipe on that. So we just leave that blank, and I've got it here at 24.96. My medicine is running 90-day supply, but I could actually delete that out. I'm going to leave it in there for now, as a reminder that when you go to get these medicines, you better be ready to swipe that HSA card for that. Insurance, I have accident and cancer insurance. Mostly for the cancer, there's been a number of people who have had cancer as well as prostate runs in our family. And, do have high blood pressure. It's much better since I retired. But anyway, that's 59.96. When I go on Medicare next year, I'm dropping that. And this dollar amount is going to go to my eye care. I'm thinking about going with VSP. My haircut's running about $30 if I go to the barber who has the most experience with my hair. Now, with the haircut, on one of my side hustles, I go right by a barber school and I can get my hair cut, mustache trimmed, and with a couple bucks tip, I can get that down to $11, which I'm going to do on Tuesday of this week coming up. And that's going to be uh, June 6th. Healthcare dues, 26.98. I was out of town and I put what's called a hold on it, so it's actually down to $10, but it's going back up. That's great for me. It's a great way to keep the cardio going. I like the sauna and the whirlpool. I feel a lot better when I go. I'll start going back in July. Transportation, if I had cost to ride the train, I would put that here. Dining out, I rarely do that anymore because I'm retired. I have so much time to whip up a meal. And I do like Chinese food, but I had chicken tenders. I went in and cut that up, and I stir fried some peppers. Um, I got some jalapenos, mushrooms, and then I added this orange stir fry sauce and made me some rice. And I fixed the meal and I just ate it about 2 hours ago, what was left over. So learning how to cook and make your favorite meals has helped me save. Movies, I do like going to the movies and I always go on Tuesdays and I ask for the senior discounts when I go or the matinees. And entertainment, that's the Netflix. So here we go down here. It's coming in at about $1,534. So what I did was I just used that for the 90-day. If you listen to Dave Ramsey, he says something about make sure you got 90 days worth of income, preferably 6 months. So now we got 4603. And then for the year, with this budget like that, I'm coming to 18,412. And if I'm living off $20,000, I'm in pretty good shape. I am 64 years old and I'm bridging all of the age of 64, all of the age of 55, and all of the age of 66. Early in the year I turned 67, I will collect Social Security. So I am not collecting it right now. I'm letting it marinate and grow by the 8%. I'm forecasting that the Social Security check with the COLA will be about $3,000 a month. And then this budget right here, if it's 1,600 and we're going to add about 335 for the Medicare, we're going to take 10% out taxes. I may have just shy of $200 of walking around money. Over here, this is the budget without the mortgage. So once that mortgage goes away, um, it drops down to about $1,100. This does not include walking around money. Okay. So let me come back, just have a little more chit chat with you, and I'll be right back. And we'll look at the 6 month budget because this is what I'm really proud of. All right. Be right back. Okay. So here we are with the 6 month budget. And one of the reasons why I'm able to do this, I structured this exactly as when I was working. The last day of the month, I would always get paid 31st, 28th, 29th, and then the 15th of the month, which could have been like, if the 15th fell on a Sunday, it would have been the Friday. But I kept the same structure. And the first thing I want to show you here is everything in red are the extra expenses. We look at the utilities, this is the gas. So now by me tracking this like that, I know what I'm going to have to shove out for um, the gas, and it's due on the 14th of the month. There's no grace. And here it's back down to 48.26. We're at 48.59. And here under auto, this is the tax renewal right there. Over here, this is the auto insurance. I pay that once every 6 months. Um, here, I saved up for the Super Savers over with Spirit Airlines, and then they went out of business, so that's gone. This whole line comes out next year. I'll leave it there for historical. And then I have the doctor. So everything is in red, pops up as unexpected expenses. And if we go down here to the bottom, you could see how that $1,600 a month shaked out. So I was way up there in 1651 in the month of February, couple $1,000 because of that auto insurance. If we take away that auto insurance, I'm back at 1600. We're a little higher here. But let's take a look at the month of June. $980 is what I needed. Everything that has a slash through it and that is bold has been paid. And if we come down here, it comes to 976. This is set up to draw out of the high yield savings account. And it worked exactly as I wanted. When I was out of the country on April 1st and May 1st, it did an auto draft all by itself. I'm proud of that. Over here, this is the middle of the month. Now, this is critical for me because I'm going to show you, I'm going to change this number here. When I was working, this is about what I brought home at the middle of the month. And this is how I wound up saving so much money. See that 1254? These are the typical bills. I'm just going to throw some stuff in here to make it look more like when I was working. Oh, wait a minute. That should be $60 for groceries and 30. But I want to show you something here, how things change when you retire and when you lose that income from your job. You see how here I have $759 in cash? What I started doing was my high yield savings with VO Bank. So I would send $500 to them every month. I did that for nearly 3.5 years. So that's $5,000 times three, that's 15,000. And then I had about 9 months of 2025. So that was about $3,500. And this is all after taxes. This is tax-free dollars here. So as you can see with this budget, I'm able here to walk around with $295. Let's go back and put this back as when I was working. So here it's showing me with a couple $100 of pocket money. All I needed was $100 in disposable income while I was working. I did that for years. I moved down here from Detroit in August of 2005. I got myself together working. In December of 2007, I just said, I can do okay with $100. But as you can see, with all this extra money that was coming in, if we take that out, let me get that lined up. If we take that out, I just didn't need all that money to walk around here in Atlanta with a wad of money. I started saving it. And with this expenses laid out like this, it allowed me to know how much I had to spend. So let's see if I can get this back to the way it was, because I want to share with you what's coming down the pipe. See if we can get this back. One more. So, all right, there we go. This is the draw from the 10. There's a fruit fly flying around right when I'm recording. Um, this is what comes out of the account. High yield savings, and I normally would transfer this. But this month, what I'm going to do is instead of pulling this out of the high yield saving from the side hustle and part-time job, I'm going to not take this money out. We're going to delete that. This is going to stay in the high yield savings. You can see how it turns red down there. I will use my side hustle money, and I will add the money into the account to pay these bills. This bill right here that's bold, it has a slash that already cleared the checking account. This one comes out on Monday. Then the next one that comes out is this one here, and I'll probably pay here. My side hustle generates $120 in tax-free dollars every week. So what I'll do is at the end of the month, I know when these bills are due, I'll deposit that cash in, cover these bills, and then at the end of the month, the part-time job at the stadium will pay out about 30 hours worth of work from the World Cup. It's going to be about 340 to possibly $380. What I'm going to do is take that, put that in cash reserve, and then over here, this will be the month of July. I'm going to use that to pay for this month, July, and I'm not going to pull out. I want to stop pulling out the middle of the month dollar amount. This money right here, I want to stop pulling it out. I want to build up a surplus because I got something special I want to do at the end of the year. But this is what I'm proud about right here. The budget is $10,000, and then there I am. When I go ahead and pay, I'm at just shy of $10,000. So what we do is we're going to even delete this. There you go. Because I'm going to supply my own money into the account. All of this right here, if I go ahead and undo this here, all of this came from the IRA distributions that I made. And as you can see, I was able to take out more money to cover all these other expenses. So you can see how the high expenses go up in the winter and they come down. And some of this red stuff, you'll see this again next year, except for this here, this 7845, and then this VPN. But that's like peanuts. But all the rest of the stuff you're going, this is escrow um, payment to keep my mortgage payment only going up $6. It was 505. Now it's 511, and I add an extra $100. But this right here is the name of the game. Right there, my first 6 months, I'm under budget, and I took IRA money out at $10,000 from Fidelity and E-Trade, and that money is ready to go to start taking care of the rest of the month. So any other money that I make on a side hustle, I can. And the high yield savings, there's two of them. There's one that I'm using, I call short term, and then I got the VO Bank where I was sending that $500 into. That's got quite a bit in it now. I was going to pay off the mortgage, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to save you. I won't do that. But this is my budget setup, and it starts with the expenses. So the budget kind of means a little restraint, but if we use the word expenses and I pull money out of my retirement, this is how I'm bridging. The other thing on the videos is at that $20,000, it actually, the capital gains from 2025 was $14,838. So the investment actually generated 9 months of income. I didn't have to sell any shares. I didn't have to pull out anything for the first 9 months. And then the last 3 months, well, yeah, that came out of some of the cash account to make the 20,000. But this is what I was talking about here. And this can be applied to anybody that's working. And when you see you've got all that extra money, you can send it off. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and end it here. But if you're new and there's something